We have an update for you on that incident at Montreal's Trudeau International Airport. The north runway shut down after an Air Canada flight arriving from LA veered off the taxiway shortly after it landed. Authorities say no reported injuries. They've closed the taxiway as they deplaned the 156 passengers and 6 crew members. No word on what led to this incident. Let's bring in Barbara Edelston Peterson. She was on that plane, and thank you very much for joining us. We're glad to see you're safe. How are you feeling this evening?
I'm a mess. I'm totally shaky. I happen to be sitting at the window seat on the left side, and I'll just say the second that jet hit the runway, it was pouring rain. It was like something's not right, and I don't know if it was a blown tire. I actually don't think so. I think it was probably hydroplaning. And it turns out, I read a little bit that we were going very fast, of course, and suddenly there was a big smoke smell. And then the next thing I knew, we were like tumbling onto the grass, and there was smoke and dirt and grass right at my window. I couldn't see outside. And the big thing that I'm really shaking about is right outside my window is this box, like a orange and white check box that had something important to do with the runway. And the wing was 10 feet away from that. And I'm pretty sure if the wing had hit that, I don't think any of us would be here right now.
Wow.
I'm a little shaky.
Thank you very much for that description. And so when did you first get a sense that something was amiss? You're coming in for this landing on this flight from Los Angeles, and so give me a sense of the moment where you thought, okay, this is suddenly no longer routine.
I think the second we probably hit the grass, I had a sense that when we landed. And I think that might have had to do with the hydroplaning, but I don't know, and I won't ever know. But definitely, we weren't on the runway anymore. We were off on the side, we were on the grass, and then I couldn't see out the window. Dirt and smoke, and plus there was a burning smell from probably the brakes, or I don't know what, and it was really scary.
It's interesting to hear your description because, here in the newsroom in Vancouver, when we heard no one was hurt and they're being deplaned, it sounded all so routine, but in your description, it's so clear it was far from routine. And just to confirm, it sounds like there wasn't enough of a warning for you to assume the crash position or anything like that, right? You were just you were just sitting there and all of a sudden things went amiss.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I kind of remember, and I talked to the kid sitting next to me, I kind of remember, like, hitting him on the shoulder, like, what? But no. This was an emergency condition about 30 seconds after the wheels hit.
So you come... I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No. I'm just very shaky because it feels like a near-death experience.
Yeah, no, listen, I totally understand that. And I appreciate so much that you're taking the time to talk to us, but I think it's important for people to hear your story. So, as you have so well described, this shocking thing happens. The plane is off the runway. Smoke and dirt and uncertainty is happening. But then the plane, presumably fairly quickly, I guess, you can tell me how long it took for it to come to a stop, and describe for me what happened from that point on.
Okay, so while things were happening and there was a smoke smell, somebody in the back was screaming, fire, fire, fire. And somebody, I think from first class, I just heard this, shut the up, like screaming. And then that made me so scared. But the plane came to a stop. It seemed like, well, we didn't know if it was going to blow up in a ball of fire. We just didn't know. But I will say what happened after was a class act by the crew members and the passengers. And I've recently written a book called Fel. It's a Yiddish word, and it means, when you celebrate, you admire, you're really acknowledging someone's good. And I was felling to myself, one, the passengers, everyone stayed calm except for the idiot in the back, who I don't know who that was. And the crew could not have been better. And we were on the tarmac, on the grass, for about 3 hours. And all of us were so upset about missing our flights, our connections. And I'm making my connection, and because there's havoc here. So it's late. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking to you right now.
I love the point you made, though, and I do think time and again as a reporter, I've heard way more stories about people responding well as opposed to responding badly. And aviation crew, in this case, the Air Canada crew, I'm not surprised at all to hear that they perform perfectly in this emergency situation. I think we have a picture maybe that you took of this orange box that you're talking about. I'm going to see if we can show our audience that picture now.
It was right outside my window.
Oh,
and you can see the wing is not far.
Yeah.
That wing, if that wing had hit, the whole plane would have got knocked over, and who knows, maybe the plane would have just blown up. Who knows what's in that box? I don't know, but I'm shaky. I'm still very shaky.
Barbara, just a couple more questions. One is, did you say you and the other passengers were, after this was all over, were sitting on the plane 3 hours, did you say, before you finally deplaned?
Yes, and the news was we were going to deplane by slides and that we couldn't take anything with us. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to maybe try my backpack on and then put my Patagonia jacket over. It wasn't going to work, but I think the airline realized the liability of having all of us from all ages and well-being go down slides, and so we had to wait for a contraption to stabilize the tail of the plane. And you could see from some of my other photos, the plane is definitely tilted, and I just don't know exactly. I mean, probably tilted because it's on the grass, but I don't know if a wheel was busted. But then they decided to bring stairs out, and we were all picked up by buses. Yeah. And it took forever to get to that point.
Yeah, I do think that anytime you deploy a slide, there is, as you kind of suggest, the potential for injuries for people, especially people who are frail, right? So you never know. If they had an alternative and there was no urgent reason to get you off the plane, I'm not surprised that they took that time. I'm sorry that it was 3 hours, though. That's a long, long wait. Let me finish with this. How does something like this kind of come to an end? They take you by bus into the terminal, and then what happens?
Well, I mean, the conundrum of people trying to figure out where they're going to sleep and what next for tomorrow. I just feel like the luckiest person to make my flight. And now it's delayed because the airport's actually kind of a mess because some runways had to be closed. But I have no idea if I'll ever see my luggage. I'm sure I will, but I mean, at least I have my laptop in my backpack, and that's it.
Well, I'm so happy to hear that you and the other passengers are physically fine. I so appreciate you talking to us. I think it is really important for people who are watching to hear your story. So thank you very much for speaking with us, and best of luck in terms of what's next.
Thanks. And we're all safe, and that's what matters. I mean, people were frantic. I was rubbing a woman's shoulder for a long time. She was so upset to have missed her flight. And I was like, you know what? We're alive. And let's just keep things in perspective.
Yep, lots of reasons for gratitude. Barbara Edelston Peterson, one of the passengers on the Air Canada plane that veered off the runway at Trudeau Airport this evening. Thank you so much.